how can the scale project, I think this is a question to you, Marie, how can the scale project ensure that its outcomes are have the potential to be scaled up, so scale, or can be replicated to other countries or systems?
Yes, thank you. Well, I think there are two things there. First, it's how to ensure those outcomes that are generated through the project are sustainable in themselves, and for that, I think the fact that the project is really working on an existing system first and looking at strengthening it, integrating that bottom-up approach, the engagement of the key actors throughout the process, I think is very important, from the knowledge producers and the knowledge users through the whole process is important. The co-design, the co-development, the co-delivery of that information, knowledge, technologies helps, are key that will increase the chances of success and sustainability over time. In terms of scaling, context matters, and it's definitely scaling is something that should be considered throughout the project, so from the design to implementation and beyond, not necessarily an afterthought. So I think the way the project is designed, with key engagement with the project partners in Nigeria and Senegal, which are IPAR, sorry, I just know the acronyms, but IPAR and WAGEDI, and their engagement with other organizations will definitely play a role. And in terms also of potential replicability, I think the project is looking at training trainers or training extension agents and champion farmers that will also help over time. Potentially, there's a potential there for replicability and expansion through that model. And ATPS has quite an strong network throughout the region. So, I mean, the project team is in a better position to respond in terms of their plans for scanning, but I see elements that are seeds for what could be opportunities for scaling. I
think what has come strong for me is the idea of making it sustainable by using locally available knowledge, because it's easy to replicate. If I learn something from my neighbor, it's easier than having sometimes after working with farmers for a long time, when you go to a farmer with the knowledge, with the perspective that I know better than you, they tend to be very rigid to new information. But if it's information that is being shared by their peers, I think they're more receptive. And then also you mentioned something to do with key stakeholders or partners from local communities. I think the ownership also comes into play and can also improve the sustainability aspect of the project. Prof, I want to come. I'm asking this late. Can I call you Prof?
Why not?
Yeah. So I want to ask one question. Using a digital platform for sharing knowledge sounds very interesting, and I'm curious to know, how does the interactive collaborative environment or ICE online platform work, and what potential does it have for stakeholders in the extension system?
Thank you very much once again. The ICE framework is for short called ICE, and for long, interactive collaborative environment, just like you have the name applies, is an online virtual marketplace that enable users who are keyed into this space to access information relating to, in this case, this project, the progress that we are making in the project, in terms of the strategies we are using to strengthen the capabilities of the extension system. The ICE has different menus, like there are stakeholder menu where you can come and see those components I had mentioned, the research component, the extension component, the farmer component. In the 2 countries we're implementing this project, in Nigeria and in Senegal, you'll be able, if you key into this ICE platform, you'll be able to begin to see critical stakeholders in the research component. They will be updated in that system. You begin to see critical extension component. They will be updated in that system. Same with users. So in the area of stakeholders. So you can also see repository of outputs, like this podcast. You can, by the time we finish and we have the record, you will find it there. So you get, while we put everything, it is a kind of one-stop shop where every information about this project will be housed. We can use it to engage in online discussions, because it has a platform, a menu where you can use to get instant information. Maybe we want to get ideas from people on, let me say, locally led adaptation initiatives in Nigeria. So we can create that platform, and every stakeholder who are linked up. ATPS is made up of about 5,000 network members across the quadruple helix, across policymakers, researchers, private sector, and the civil society, including the 40 states, the journalists. You can key in to, we can set up, ask a question and say, submit any locally led adaptation initiative that you know. We can use it to rake some locally led adaptation initiatives in a particular locality, which we can begin to as well sample, make further investigation on, reach out to those who are custodians of such locally led adaptation initiative to explain more about how it works. So there is opportunity in that same ICE where we can host workshops, where we can host online training programs. So it is a marketplace. It is an online marketplace, but virtual, where people can participate. These stakeholders, research people. So if you want to know who is who in this extension system, by the time we are finishing this project, they will all be documented in the repository within the online platform that I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yes.
It sounds very interesting, and how should I put it? Very robust in terms of information and stakeholders.
And it lives beyond the project. So we are also looking at sustainability. So we don't, is now an online platform which even after the project elapses, the online platform will still be regularly maintained by us at the ATPS. So somebody can still go into that platform and open some repositories, get some outputs, get some interactions, get some key actors that we have mapped within the ecosystem of the extension system, and be able to, maybe you want to do something in Nigeria, targeting extension component. You don't need to start from the scratch again. You can use information or the stakeholder people categories, the extension people, their contacts by name. You can immediately contact somebody and say, I saw your name in the ICE platform for ATPS on the scale project. Yes, you participated. Can you give me information on how, where you are working and the latest technology that you are disseminating within a particular county or state, as the case may be.
Okay, sounds very interesting. And then, what kind of support do you need, considering the complexity of this online platform and the longevity aspect of it? What kind of support do you need to make this project a success? ICE. With
the ICE, of course, technical support is key, because we constantly need to update information on the ICE. We know that this funding may one day elapse, and they say that there's no more money for the project. So, but we want to continue to even get more information if need be, and put on this platform, because it will live beyond the project, definitely. So it's not like it's finished. So it is still something that will be, like I said before, a one-stop shop for the project that anybody can look into and get more information. So we need technical support in terms of IT support all the time. We definitely need, because a program manager is in charge of maintaining the content of this ICE. So we still need funding to support the program manager who is now managing the ICE. So what we normally do is maybe we can draw synergy from other projects to make sure that the program manager is able to continue to maintain this even after the expiration of the funding from on the project.
Cool. I really hope you're able to get the support you need, because I think this will have a good impact on smallholder farmers.
We hope so too.
Yeah.
And she's there, so she's not going to leave us out there in the cold.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to come back to you, Marie. Considering the potential that we've just discussed about the ICE system in accelerating the adaptation actions to the impact of climate change, are there opportunities to deepen the gains that have been recorded in the first phase of the project in order to achieve greater outcomes in the participating countries?
Yes, thank you. Well, somehow I feel that the project is in a better position to
well, you can answer this question.
Yeah, but they know more about the context, and I think context is very key when we think of that sustainability and so I'm also here to learn from them and support obviously the project in that sense, and there's no recipe to do it well, but I think understanding very well the context and making sure that project is well integrated and make the proper gain the proper ownership at different level is key to sustain the outcomes. And I really foresee the project partners, so ATPS, but also IPAR and WAGEDI, nurturing those strategic and long-term engagement with key stakeholders to make that possible. But as IDRC and on the Step Change Initiative, we're here to support them as much as possible.
Yeah, maybe just to add to that, like she said, this project is implemented in Nigeria and in Senegal, but ATPS is leading in the implementation of the project in partnership with two other organizations, one based in Nigeria called West African Green Economy Development Institute, WAGEDI, and one other based in Senegal called IPA. So because we work collaboratively together on the project, our expectation is that working with, and we also have ATPS has we have an office in Nigeria. We also have an office in Senegal. So with these local offices and with the partners we have, we are looking at ensuring that whatever gain we make from this project does not just end at the end of the project. So we are looking at sustainability. We are looking at how do we start a new thing in the way extension operates in these countries, so that it is not just the straight line jacket where the extension only goes to research, get information, push to farmers, but the extension can now go to farmers, actually get information and push to other farmers. That is what is called a pluralistic extension system, where everybody can contribute, especially the people that are mostly affected, which are now women, because we said women are mostly affected. Children are mostly affected by the impact of climate change, because if there is flooding now, you can see men run very fast, but a woman will run and look back to know whether the child is following her. And in so doing, they may be all consumed by that flood. You see, so because they are more vulnerable, we need their voice in co-developing these strategies. And their voice will be very important for us in a locally led adaptation system, where we need to know what are the uniqueness, what are the things they want to see in a kind of adaptation strategy that we will push out to them. So we can even get the adaptation strategy from research, but they will adapt it to their own context, and it is still acceptable, so that it is not like hook, line and sinker. Just bring this through to them without knowing whether that will work. If you go to, like in Nigeria, the Fulani people, Fulani cattle rearers, or even in Maasai people who move from one place to another in search of green pasture for their livestock. In Nigeria, for instance, governments have tried to say, stop moving around, stop being migratory from one place to another, destroying people's farms. Okay, we can help settle you. So government may have come to say, okay, we build you houses, stay here, and then take care of your animals there. They say, okay, fine, thank you very much. They even drill borehole, thank you very much. The moment the government leaves, they take the animals and continue migrating, because this is their culture. So what the government now did, knowing that you cannot make them sedentary, you cannot make them stay in one place. It is their culture. So they now, even education, because they are saying, stay and educate your kids. You are moving with them. So how will they get education? So now government designed a program that fed into that system and carried education as they moved. There are mobile educators who go with them. So where they are supposed to settle for a few moments, period, weeks, they provide education for them. If they are moving again, they take some education packages to them, because they can't stay sedentary. So those are the kind of learning that we want in this project, where we can still adapt even proven technologies and information from research to ensure that it adapts to the system that local people will accommodate. And if the knowledge is coming from the local people themselves, how can we upgrade it and say, okay, you are using mud to build fish ponds, and this mud system, where you dig a hole and use mud to smear on the surface, can break, can lose water, and so on and so forth. So we can come up with cement. You can use cement, and it can sustain the water for a longer time, and you can build a larger pond for them. So those are the kind of additions that can be put to their own local knowledge to make it more sustainable. These are the things we are looking at, and in the final analysis, we want to influence policy, the extension policy, to integrate the system of the local knowledge into the extension system, so that extension agents can as well, in as much as they can push proven knowledge and information and technologies and tools from research, they can as well upgrade community-based, locally led adaptation strategies, tools, information technologies to be acceptable in other communities. So in that way, it becomes more sustainable. It becomes more inclusive, because the people that these technologies are meant to serve are now contributing towards it, and they feel more comfortable even using it for a longer time.
Right. I think I really like the example of the Fulani mobile educators, and with the concept of adaptation, I think that's like a picture perfect example of how we can use like local knowledge and integrate it with technology. I think I will ask one final question before we end. For both of us, Marie and Professor Nicholas, how would you define success for this project? We'll start with you, Marie.
Thank you. Well, back to what I've said earlier in terms of what I would like to see, which is also about success. I see that as one element, like having the smallholder farmers, in particular women and other vulnerable groups, using in a timely manner, information, knowledge, and technologies that will really help them strengthening and having equitable and inclusive locally led adaptation solutions for them and enhancing their resilience in that context. Also having a responsive extension system, I think it would be very great, and I would see that as success in each of the targeted areas that meets the needs of smallholder farmers and contribute to accelerate their locally led adaptation, and seeing that the extension system offers a platform for these farmers to share their insights. So being really that interactive, bidirectional system would be very good.
So it will look, for lack of a better word, something like a social chat room for farmers that they can share their experiences and insight. And
in terms of success, a lot of things we count as success for us. One, we would want to know exactly who are the stakeholders in the extension system. They are there, but we documenting them for other users to use, and not go back to start knowing who are the key stakeholders in the extension system. So documenting these stakeholders will be very important to us. Once we know them, then we can design targeted interventions to them. We want to know which are these initiatives, the locally led adaptation initiatives that are existing. Because you said when you were at the North Rift, there were so many things they were telling you, and you marveled.
Yeah.
So we want to have them. We want to document them, because one of the challenges of Africa is we don't keep records. So can somebody prepare a documentary about what is available, about what has worked for people in different communities, and we have them and say, this one worked, failed, this one worked. So you can rank how the working worked, and then be able to say, this is more sustainable. So let's document them. Let's see how they worked, the success rate of each of those initiatives. Remember, when we talk about locally led adaptation, we are looking at investing in the capabilities of the local people to adapt to the impact of climate change. There are a lot of things involved here. So building their capacities, building their institutions, because it's not just about one person. There's what we call farmer to farmer extension system. So one farmer learns something, he tells another farmer, and like you said here, there was something you said about getting an information and not like Big Bang. The one that a fellow farmer has told a fellow farmer, they will grab it faster than the one that the Muzungu has brought. They will say less. And that's why when you look at the adoption rate, the innovators, the first people that adopt innovation in any community are only 3%. 3%. Will first of all adopt a new technology. Then the early adopters are only 16%. 16% of the people in any community will say, let's try it. Remember, only 3 will immediately grab it because they are risk. I mean, they take risk.
Yeah.
And they can just run with it immediately. After them, you get the people we call early adopters, who will say, okay, let's try this. The moment it works for those 16 people, another majority, what we call early majority, 34%, will now grab it and say, because it worked for this 3% and 16% of the people, they will also try it. And that is how innovation are disseminated. That's how people learn new ideas. So when it comes from farmer to farmer, the rate of adoption is usually faster. And that's why we are looking at this locally led adaptation as a very strong measure to have a wider and faster adaptation mechanism, because this farmer has been using it. So for another farmer to use it, it will not be hard. It's not like he came from Canada or he came from America. This is what your fellow. When I took upland rice to a community that never grew rice in their life, you see, rice there was a community. There are communities. Not every community grow rice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good. Now there's what we call swamp rice and upland rice, but this community has never grown rice in there. I mean, they have never known anything about growing rice. They eat rice every day, but they don't know how it is grown.
Yeah.
Good. Now, as an extension agent, I took upland rice, a variety of rice that can grow wherever maize can grow, because rice and maize belong to the same family, Gramineae family.
Yeah. And
wherever maize can grow, rice can grow, the upland rice. Yes. So I took it to this community. I met so many farmers, and they say, rice, is it possible? How can? No, we don't grow rice. We just buy already prepared ones.
Yeah.
But this farmer said, come, I'm interested. You mean rice can grow in my farm? I say, yes. Let's go and around the road, major road, where people pass.
And grow it there.
And grow it there. So he gave me a plot of land. We grew the upland rice there. And the rice started growing. And when people are passing, they are looking at that rice. And they're saying, what is this? And the man is telling them, this is rice. When it started fruiting, people were coming to watch. Everybody will say, wow, rice in this community? My guy, I tell you, by the next year, many farmers have adopted this because it worked for this man. He harvested a very good quantity of rice. And now he said, you know, we don't mill rice. I said, yes, I know. You don't have the value chain very well. So I helped him, linked him to where he went and milled the rice. He ate that rice with great passion because I produce rice myself. By next year, many people were coming to him, please teach us how to grow rice. Yeah. So we want that kind of technology where the local people are already using it and telling the neighbor, I can use it, it worked for me. So that farmer was among the 3%. And by next year, I got 16%. And before 2-3 years, the whole community were growing rice. And then what happened? Millers came into that community and established, and people can now take their rice to mill.
And you've grown an economy.
Okay. That is it.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I think I will be one of the few of the 3%. I'm definitely trying the upland rice. Yeah.
I want to use this very last minute to appreciate our donor. They like to be called partner because they are partners in progress. For deeming it wise to support this project. IDRC has been very supportive of the ATPS. You recall the artificial intelligence project we did podcast on last time. They are the ones also financing. When we are co-developing this project, it was not just like, "Pam, this is our project." So at a time, we are sharing knowledge, sharing ideas to make the project a better one to be implemented. So she contributed a lot in knowledge, in improving the co-development of this particular scale project, and we are very thankful to her. We thank the IDRC generally for their continued support to the ATPS. We promise to and pledge to always produce great outputs that be very effective and efficient, and ensure value for money that they give to us in the implementation of projects. Thank you very much. Over.
Yes, well, thank you for hosting us today for that podcast. I want to thank as well ATPS for receiving me this week and having an opportunity to have further discussions, more in-depth discussion about the project. Within IDRC and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands, we're really proud of supporting such an initiative and supporting the step change overall, which I think has a very great mission of accelerating locally led adaptation and supporting the most vulnerable populations overall. Step change is also about connecting the different projects together and learning across projects. So we're really looking forward at later this year having our first learning review, where we'll bring all the projects together to also share their different approaches to knowledge brokering, to closing that gap between knowledge and action. And looking forward to further discussions and as the projects progress and generate impact. Thank you.
And interestingly, the learning review will be holding in Nairobi. Many over 50 delegates may be coming to Nairobi for this event from many different countries. 7 projects or 8 projects, and the partners will be here in Nairobi for this learning review meeting. So it is a plus that Nairobi was selected, and we are happy to be hosting them during this. That would be first week in October this year, 2024.
At least it will be a bit colder. Currently, it's not usually this hot. I need to say that. So I'm sure they'll enjoy. Then, we'll be happy to even collaborate with you. So then we can come and cover you guys also. And thanks a lot for making the time and for being very attentive and very proactive with your responses.
Thank you very much for hosting us. We do appreciate it.